So, sitcoms. Some people love them, some people avoid them like the plague, and others genuinely couldn't give two shits. Now, I used to be in the latter category for any TV that wasn't a cartoon on Cartoon Network. In the old days, it was things like Ben 10, the original one, not the new ones, Teen Titans, the original one, not the new one, and Robot Boy. Man, I miss those shows so much. They were literally my childhood. Oh, and Thomas the Tank Engine. And more recently, shows like The Amazing World of Gumball and Regular Show. Man, I miss Regular Show too. Great. Now I'm sad about all the great shows that have ended. But as you can see, not really a sitcom sort of guy. Until recently, I got into 3 different ones. Me and my friend the Turnpike started watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at the same time. Although I'm still in season 1 and I'm pretty sure he's finished it. So, I got a bit of catching up to do there. Another one of my friends, Thomas Benfield, most original channel name ever, I know, showed me The Inbetweeners, and honestly, it was brilliant. So funny. And what made it so great was just the fact that it was just a group of fairly normal teenagers getting into relatively normal situations, and then everything getting taken to the absolute extreme. Maybe I might even make one of these videos on that. Who knows? But finally, after lots of exposition and needless background information, we're here ready to talk about the real deal. I'm ready to tell you about Welcome to Why I Love The Office UK. Man, I love that theme song so much. It's so good. BBC, please don't sue me, by the way, or Stereophonics. You know, it was a short clip. Used fair use. Alright? Now, this show ended before I was even born, but honestly, I absolutely love it. It was created and written by Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais, and the show is essentially a mockumentary about a group of office workers at the paper trading company Wyndham Hogg in Slough. Riveting, I know. There are many characters in the office, but the main ones are the boss David Brent, played by Ricky Gervais, Tim Canterbury, played by Martin Freeman, who was one of the workers who mainly spent his days winding up Gareth to try and make life more bearable, Gareth Keenan, played by Mackenzie Crook, who was sort of a bit of a retard really, and Dawn Tinsley, played by Lucy Davis, who was the receptionist and love interest of Tim. Other sort of notable characters are Keith, played by Ewan McIntosh, another one of the workers there who always gives his quote-unquote great lady advice, Lee, played by Joel Beckett, who is Dawn's fiancé, Chris Finch, played by Ralph Ineson, who is David's friend, but is really there to show how bad a person possibly can be, and to make David feel small and insignificant. And Neil, played by Patrick Baladi, who is the boss of the Swindon branch and later boss of the entire country. Sorry if I butchered anyone's name there, but you get the gist of it. There are loads more characters, but they're all very minor and I don't even know the names of any of them and can't be asked to look it up, so watch the show if you actually really want to know. And it is worth watching the show, by the way. Can I just keep putting that out there? The show only ran for 2 series, each with 6 half-an-hour-long episodes, so it's the sort of thing you can easily watch in a day. After that, there was a 2-part Christmas special, set 3 years after Series 2 ended, both parts being 45 minutes and 50 minutes respectively, as a send-out for the show to tie up loose ends. Now, after like 5 minutes, describing the context, describing the characters very lightly, and 2 pages of script, it's time to actually get into what the title said I would be doing, explaining why I love The Office UK. I've never actually watched the US version, so I can't really give a verdict. At least not yet. You know, hint to future episode of this new series, why I blank emotion, blank subject. Nudge nudge, wink wink. Right, seriously now. Enough rambling, and on to what I really meant to talk about. The Office is one of those shows that made me chuckle, made me laugh out loud, made me cringe in the way it wants you to, made me want to work in an office, made me not want to work in an office ever, made me slightly upset, but no tears because I'm a real man at 14, made me excited to be an adult, and last but not least, made me never ever want to grow up so I can never go through what they go through in the show. Surprisingly, it also made me respect people who do these sorts of jobs in a way I never thought I would. Even though the characters in this show just piss about, they still manage to show just how drab and depressing working in an office environment can be. So major props to anyone who does work in one. Seriously, nice job. If not literally, nice job. A lot of the comedy in the show comes from quintessential British cringe comedy, where it is meant to make you feel extremely awkward, make you laugh at the character's misfortune rather than with them. A very common example of this is where David will make a joke, and it will completely flop and nobody will laugh, leaving David to be stood there awkwardly, just looking at the camera. It makes you feel sorry for him, but you also can't help but laugh. My dad actually recommended the show to me, and he came into my room a couple minutes into the first episode, and I just said to him, "It's so awkward, but that makes it so funny." Basically just stating the obvious really, because I'm helpful like that. But even with all the awkward humour taking place, a lot of it is much more subtle in places, and you really have to think, watch or listen carefully to even pick up some of the funny moments. But that's not difficult to do when the show is keeping you engaged anyway. Alongside all this though, the show actually manages to make you feel for the characters and care about what is happening to them. We feel embarrassed for Tim when he makes a fool of himself by asking out Dawn and being rejected. We feel sorry for David when Chris constantly puts him down over and over again. We feel good for Gareth when he actually gets to do something for his job that he feels is important. And this sense of care and character building that happens throughout the show makes us feel satisfied by the end of the second part of the Christmas special, as we don't need to see what happens from there onwards. At that point we're left with two options. Imagine for ourselves what happens from there, or just leave it be. It really doesn't matter. But either way, we should feel satisfied with how it all ends, even if we want more. And if you really want to know what I'm talking about, then go watch the show for yourself. I know I keep saying it, but seriously, it won't take that long, and it will be worth it. Trust me. Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant never wanted to make a wacky, unrealistic sitcom with larger-than-life characters. They wanted to give a grounded but hilarious look into the mundane life of office workers, in a way that's relatable for people who work in or have worked in offices, yet still manages to be extremely entertaining for anyone who hasn't. They truly managed to find the perfect balance, and it's the kind of thing that I want to make myself someday. A funny show that can make people laugh, be relatable, have interesting characters you care for, and all round just become a classic. I don't know. A guy can dream, I guess. Well, that was a video, wasn't it, that took way too long to edit. It should have been out a week and a half ago, but it didn't exactly work. So, I hope you enjoyed that. It was actually pretty good to make, and I can't wait to make more videos like it. And as you've probably already heard, because he's shuffling or something, the Turnpike has actually been sat here on speakerphone the entire time. Say something, you Rem. I'm not cutting this. This is...
Okay, alright. I'm so sorry, Tom Nick. Right, wait, are you recording this?
Yeah.
Shit. Right, let me just say, right, I was drinking water until you said that, and I just spat it all over everything.
Okay, that's nice. You've been a very good help. Thank you.
Okay, wait.
Thank you. Oh, that was funny. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so more videos coming out that won't take as long as this to make. This should be quite a fun one to do. He's trying to call me again, so, you know. Also, quick shout out to Explaining It. They're an animation channel with around 700 subscribers that found me for my animation test video about 3 or 4 months ago. And the fact that they're still here, it's just one guy who does it. The fact that he's still here is actually really nice, and he actually has faith in me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, Mike. Yes, I read your about page. I'm not weird. I just know your name because you put it in there. And I'm not just saying all this because, you know, he watches my content. His content is actually really good, so I'll leave a link to him in the description. This was just a little impromptu shout out. Also in the description is a link to a podcast that me and my friends are going to be trying to do. It's not all finished yet, and it's going to take a while to do, but it would mean a lot if you could subscribe, and we can get episodes out as soon as possible. They're going to be weekly, we don't know when, but yeah. Also in the description is my second channel, all my social medias, and a link to my Discord server, so it'd be quite nice if you could join that. I've rambled on for way too long, and this is going to end up almost being half the length of the actual video. But without further ado, I will see you in the next video. See ya. I said it twice again, I'm such an idiot.